Parkes National Logistics Hub. Central to Australia's transport network. Central to 80% of Australia's population overnight. Central to global markets.
Parkes' central location puts it at the crossroads of the nation.
Where road and rail intersect north, south, east and west, and central to the $9 billion inland rail.
It's the first centre from Sydney you can double stack.
Parkes is the first centre from Sydney where you can road train.
This is the first centre of construction of inland rail.
Huge opportunities exist to break new ground as a partner in this major distribution centre, set to be Australia's largest greenfield intermodal site.
Parkes is a critical hub and is central to everything in the transport industry.
It's what we've been looking for years.
Faster freight times, lower costs, simpler logistics. It all adds up.
The hub at Parkes has been in the planning for decades. What is really exciting about the hub is the announcement by Pacific National now to do their intersection with the east-west line to the future north-south line. And they will combine then with SCT and Linfox to have three major operators operating out of the Parkes National Logistics Hub. Will change the way freight moves around Australia, and Parkes will be a central key in the way that freight is distributed.
Parkes National Logistics Hub comprises of 600 hectares of land. The land is zoned for intermodal operations and is fully buffered with approval for 24/7 access and operations. 16 million people can be reached overnight from Parkes. Major logistics, manufacturing, warehousing and distribution opportunities are now available from current operators, Pacific National and SCT Logistics.
SCT is Australia's largest privately owned rail freight operating business in Australia today. SCT established Parkes 11 years ago, and it was the first opportunity on the line from Sydney to Perth that allowed us to run a 1.8 kilometre train and double stack intermodal containers. I see Parkes' future as a great import-export hub. I see 2 trains a day servicing exporters and importers into ports around Australia. I also see opportunities, it being so centrally located, for wagon maintenance and locomotive maintenance, possibly even manufacturing of rail equipment. But for investors, SCT can make things happen.
Here are some fast facts. B-double access into and out of Parkes on all major routes. Road train access to and from the west. Parkes is the first point from Sydney where rail containers can be double stacked. Cheaper warehousing and land costs. Skilled workforce. Lower operating costs. Affordable housing. Attractive work-life balance. It all adds up.
Across Australia every day, the freight task is increasing, and our existing infrastructure, both road and rail, will not be able to cope with such volumes. What inland rail does is provide a new corridor for freight and takes the pressure off the congestion on the eastern coast, both road and rail and through Sydney. The Inland Rail project is Australia's single biggest freight rail infrastructure project in many years. It includes a 1,700 kilometre track running from Brisbane to Melbourne through central New South Wales, and includes 4 major farmlands in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria.
When inland rail's complete, Parkes will be the natural interchange point for road to rail and rail to road for freight consolidation, but also allows the opportunity for rail to rail consolidation, because now you've got a national freight grid with common operations between Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth and all of the regional centres in between. Parkes is critical to the success of inland rail.
Pacific National is a very important part of our development of freight logistics across the country. The $35 million will be made up of approximately $17 million to develop a terminal here, which will form part and adjacent to the inland rail route, and an $18 million on supporting rolling stock. It'll be approximately 600 metres long, but in its final form, the sidings could be up to 1.8 kilometres long, which would make them some of the longest sidings in Australia, not just in regional Australia. The terminal here at Park sits in the crosshairs of the east-west line and the north-south line, so we see it as a great advantage. It initially allow us to double stack all the way from Parkes all the way to Perth, but once we've got a terminal of this size, scale, efficiency, there's no doubt it will be a draw card for more freight to go onto rail.
One of the main challenges, as always has been, is keeping our costs down, and one of our biggest cost areas is the actual cost of freight. This will open up the gateway to virtually every port that we might want to take product out of. The Newell Highway and the Inland Rail really run right down the middle of the cropping belt in Eastern Australia, and really the artery for the agriculture industry. Now with the expansion of the Asian markets where there's massive growth, the opportunities are just immense, and I mean, to me, this is once again opening up those opportunities because we can actually send our freight whichever port we want to go out of to the specific market for the cheapest price. Yeah, well, the inland port at Parkes will open up a hell of a lot of opportunities, more than we've ever dreamt of probably.
ALC estimates that for a 1% increase in supply chain efficiency, there'll be a $2 billion benefit to the national economy. So focusing on supply chain efficiency, inland rail will be a very, very important part of that. For the first time, we'll have a backbone to the national rail freight network that goes from north to south. Parkes is really set to become Australia's major inland rail hub.
Parkes Council doesn't pretend to be experts in logistics or manufacturing, but we are very good at collaboration. So our role is to be like a development concierge. We have a lot of information, we know the people, we know the synergies, and we try and put people together so that we create a competitive advantage for their businesses. We welcome inquiry and we love connecting investors to opportunity.
We originally came to Parkes for 3 months and we've stayed for over 10 years. It opens its doors to new people, new opportunity and new businesses. In Parkes you can do more. You have more time to do things while still having an amazing career. We have looked very strategically at how we plan. We set aside the land for the Parkes National Logistics Hub over 10 years ago, which means we've got very good buffer zones in place, which means that urban encroachment hasn't gone into that area.
Parkes National Logistics Hub is central to Australia's distribution network, offering synchro-modal solutions that are cheaper, faster, easier and more efficient. Lower land and operating costs that deliver greater profits. And the new inland rail that starts from Parkes is a game changer. It will change our transport industry forever. Will it change yours?
The vision is huge, the opportunity is huge. Contact us today.